Guys, Diamond FX here, coming at you with another video, and today I'm going to bring you my setup video, or in this case, what is actually inside of my PC in this case. So as you can see here, revision 2.0. So yes, this particular build I have here, I built actually last year, but over the course of 2 years, I have changed a lot in this system. Well, yeah, pretty much I changed a lot in this system. I went from like LEDs to pretty much just solid colors all around. So here are a couple pictures here. They're kind of small, but I think you should be able to expand it. So yeah. So I'm going to show you all this later, but I'm going to tell you description wise about which parts I picked and things. As you can see here, I tried going for a kind of blue and black build, which I didn't really notice until actually kind of the start of this year. And then I tried to fix up my cable management, but that's probably the best I can do out of this system. The problem is with this power supply cable here is probably because it's red. I kind of hated that in the first place, but it should be fine. And I have this one here. This little nice shot here, and then shot of all my CPU cooler, some fans, graphics card, additional cards here. I'll tell you there's some expansion slots. I'll tell you guys that later though. And nice little shot here. They have one more. Oh no, you don't even look at that. It's just blurry. It's just blur all around. Don't even worry about that. And then I have a couple of some Fire Strike, some benchmarks here. I got Fire Strike, Skydiver. They have Cloudgate, Ice Storm. Definitely overall good system. Definitely had 5,000 here. My previous system probably didn't even go that high because I had a HD 7850 from AMD, which put me around 4,700 points, I think, at the time. So it's an increase, definitely, but I don't know how much. Definitely good for what I did, but I'm gonna tell you that later. So that's just what it is. And then the parts list, I'll have this link in the description later, but then you look at this later. I'm gonna talk about all this right now, so you don't even have to look at this. But if I don't say anything here, you can look at it there. So first off, let's go with the CPU. So the CPU I want with this build is the FX-6300. 3.5 gigahertz 6-core processor. Definitely a beast of a CPU in this build. I can just do pretty much minor budget editing. I can actually do live streaming if you haven't noticed. I have a live stream. I'll tell you guys about that later on. But yeah, definitely for live streaming, for video editing, Photoshop, any of those kinds of things. Well, this thing is just a workhorse. It will definitely run anything I want with it. I can do some virtual machines on it too, but it's not as powerful as the Intel machines. But virtual machines only use like 2 or 3 cores anyways, or actually 1 or 2 cores anyways. So probably not the best for that, but hey, I can still run it if I need to. I did overclock this though. I actually went up to 4.4 gigahertz, and I went with 4.4 because I figured that would be the kind of the baseline I could do with this build. I don't need to go higher, but the cooler that I actually have with this one is called the Sigmatech Gaia. Now you can't find this anymore, unfortunately, because Sigmatech has discontinued this particular model, or you can't find it anywhere. This is pretty much equivalent to the Hyper 212 at the time, which would have been the Hyper 212 Plus. There is the Evo version, which probably is like the best budget CPU cooler at the time, or this time right now. So you can probably pick something up like that right now. For when I picked this one up for like $20 a couple years ago, yeah, definitely very usable. And honestly, as you see here, it does come with a stock fan, but I replaced mine over here. If you see, like right here, I replaced it with this one. So definitely a little bit of change there, but I'll show you that later though. Okay, so I went with CPU, I went cooler, motherboard. Asus M5A97 revision 2.0 motherboard was probably where I got the revision part. Anyway, so this motherboard, it's a full ATX motherboard, so you do need a compatible case with it, but I'm going to go into the case a little bit later. It is the 970 chipset. For you guys who don't know, it's kind of the lower end of the FX series AM3 Plus boards, so you can't really do as much overclocking on it, but the thing is, it does have has a heatsink over the VRAM, so you can actually do some minor overclock on it. RAID support, as it says, no onboard video. I mean, none of the AM3 Plus boards have it, but Crossfire does support it, but I don't need it because I only use 1 card, so it's okay. And then obviously I got 6 SATA 3 ports, so I got all the 6 gigabit per second ports that I need. Obviously Ethernet's on there, and then I got some USB headers for 3.0 as well. Definitely a good set. I do actually filled up all the actual USB ports, actually, to be honest. So these ones are filled for some of my peripherals. These are mostly peripherals here, and then some of these are for what am I putting in there? Flash drives and some other things in there. And also if I need to redo the BIOS or anything like that. So definitely a good set. Now, next up, I have the memory or the RAM, whatever you guys would like to call it. I got the G-Skills Aries series, 8 gigabytes of RAM. I have it running at 1866 memory, which is actually useful for my video rendering times, but it's not needed, especially if you're just trying to make a gaming PC. So you can go anywhere between like 1333 or 1600 for a cheaper price if you can find it. RAM's been going to kind of expensive recently, so $70. You can probably find that cheaper, maybe $59, maybe like a mail-in rebate. I don't like mail-in rebates, unfortunately, though, because it takes a while to get the rebate, but hey, it's an option if you want it. Okay, so now next I'm going to go over my storage. So I have about 4 drives in there, and my casing to support more. But first off, my main OS is the Crucial MX100 128GB SSD, or a solid state drive. For budget, for how much I got it for $50. It's just powerful. This literally is how it is. But budget to performance ratio wise, yeah, this is definitely the best one I can have at the time. 6 gigabits per second, 125, 2.5 inch drive, so definitely can fit into those nice laptops like you can see over here, like that. Definitely a good speed boost for all of your old hard drive, or yeah, definitely your old hard drives and definitely your old laptops as well. Who's running the old hard drives? Now, storage wise, I have a collection of them. The first one I actually bought a couple years ago when I had my APU build, or the APU build. Yeah, here I have the Seagate Barracuda 500 gigabyte hard drive. I'm still running this. Mostly this is for documents, and my Steam library, at least part of the Steam library, is on here as well. So I kind of need to drop that. I don't know, maybe get a bigger drive or something, maybe at least 2 terabytes, because I kind of want less drives for less heat. But for the moment, right now, definitely it's one in there right now. Then I have a Western Digital Caviar Blue 1 terabyte, and this drive right here holds Steam games and pretty much all of my video files. All these videos that you see here, recording videos, everything's going to go on this particular drive. So definitely useful. Definitely for price performance wise, the Caviar Blues are definitely just kind of like the best daily driver, I guess, of all the hard drives. If you do need more speed or something, you can get the black drives as well, but it's probably not as noted. You probably don't need it. Now, my third drive I have here, this one's an older drive, but I found this inside of an old PC of mine, so this one's just more for storage of downloads, some of my video files, or not my video files, my like TV shows and episodes and things like that. So this is just normal stuff, so just power efficient in that one. It's only 3 gigabyte speeds though, unfortunately, but it's fine. I mean, I'm not doing anything crazy on it, so I'm not recording videos on it. That's why I have this terabyte here. So what do I have next? Oops, I have to reset that one. Oh yeah, my video card. So yeah, the Asus R9 270 2 gigabyte version, DirectCU 2, a beast of a card. I actually got this one used from my older brother's friend, he did use it for mining all those like those digital currencies like the Litecoins, for example. But for the $40, definitely I couldn't go off that deal. I just could not say no to that deal. So I grabbed it, put it in my system. Definitely a workhorse. Definitely better than my 7850 by not that much, but for $40 you can't really complain for that kind of race. I can play everything pretty much from medium to high settings on 1080p, so especially with some of the later games. Hopefully I can play GTA 5 once it comes out in March. So about maybe another month or so that game supposedly will come out. So definitely something that'll be helpful to do. Now, the next system or the last part of this, at least the main system part, is the case. I have the Corsair 200R ATX mid-tower case. This case, for its price when I bought it, yeah, if I bought it that price, probably not the good thing, but I kind of needed it before I went back to the dorm. So this case, the only gripe with this one probably is probably the hard drive cage. The hard drive cage is plastic, so it's kind of hard to get all the temperatures and stuff getting it ready and such, to the point where it's kind of traps into heat. So you need some good intake fans to cool those hard drives down, or else you're gonna get some very high temperatures on those hard drives, which you don't want. Now you can go micro ATX and mini ATX if you want to, but it's probably not preferred. And I have some other external bays and things like that. Internal bays, four bays for each one, and then external ones I have 3. I only used up one of those ones, so you can do all of those if you need it anyways. Definitely a good system for its price. Power supply. I went with the Rosewill Hive 650 watt 80 plus bronze certified power supply. It is semi-modular, so definitely the cable management definitely is a bit easier with this system. Especially with a bigger system as this, you can just hide the cables in the back anyways, which I kind of did, or I tried to at least. I originally had a CX 430M modular power supply, but the cables were too short for a case like this, so I had a hard time managing the cables. With this system, not as bad. I did have to buy an extension cable to my 6-pin power for the video card, but other than that, that's pretty much it. It's a nice system. It's been running so far good, so I don't know how long it's going to last me, but definitely good. My monitor, my main monitor at least, I have the AOC i2269VW 60Hz monitor. It's 22 inches actually in actual length, but the actual screen itself is only 21.5. Not the best, but definitely good. It is an IPS panel, so it actually looks a bit better than all the standard panels that you see here. Only one DVI and then one VGA port, so that kind of turns off a lot of people, but I mean, I don't use HDMI for most of my things, even though it is a bit easier to use, but hey, for the price I got for this, I mean, right now it's $129. I grabbed mine for $10 cheaper than that, so definitely a good price for that. What do I have next? Oh yeah, my sound card. This is probably my latest addition to this system. So I have the Asus Xonar DG 24-bit 996 kHz sound card. So this sound card I've been using for maybe about a month or so. It does make a difference over the audio channels, especially over the especially over the onboard audio sounds. It'd be definitely better, but hopefully I would be able to do something different with this. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'm gonna keep this in here though, because it definitely makes a difference. And also, you can actually plug this into your front panel as well, so your onboard sound card is not actually affecting the front panel connectors. You can actually use it. You can actually use this particular version. I am running, for caution, for people who are using this on Windows, you do need to use a universal driver that's actually for this card. Because I think the stock drivers especially for Windows 8.1, they don't work. It's a beta driver and it's kind of crashing my system, so I didn't really use those. So I'll link that I'll link that in the description as well if you want to use that kind of system. Now this one here, this wireless adapter, this is a dual banded adapter, so it works for 2.5 and 5.0 gigahertz channels. But I really don't need this that much. This is only if, let's say for example, I'm at home and I plug in my Xbox 360 with the Ethernet cable. I plug this into my system. I can still use wireless. I can still use the computer as is while I have the Xbox running on something else. So it was cheap when I got it, so I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just pick it up anyways. What do I have next? Oh yeah, so these are the fans that you saw inside my system here. So like say for example here. So these fans here are the Corsair SP120 high performance fans. These fans are definitely loud, but with the fan controller that I want to show you later, it definitely makes a difference in performance wise. I definitely love this thing. That and obviously the colored rings, you can also change those a lot, so definitely something good to use. I love those colored rings. Definitely puts a nice little accent and color theme to my system as well. Now, fan controller wise, I have the NZXT Sentry Mix 2 fan controller. This is pretty much overkill for this build because I only have like 2 fans connected to the actual fan controller, so it was kind of a waste when I bought this. But honestly, if you actually use all 6 channels, it really does work. So I do love it. It's definitely clean. You can like it says here, you can change the LEDs to the color. So here you have green here. I actually have the white one, like this one. Yeah, I have the white one like this one here, so it's definitely a bit easier to use. What's next? Oh yeah, so now I've gone through the main system. I'm gonna go over my peripherals that I use right now. So currently, keyboard wise, I have a mechanical keyboard. I have the Cooler Master Storm QuickFire Rapid. This is not the same one that you see here, but it's definitely I have the kind of like the non-branded version, I guess you could say, because it doesn't have like, let's say, the CM Storm here or that logo here, or things like that. I actually love this version better. This was the cheapest mechanical keyboard I had, and it had blue switches at the time when I bought it. So it was the Cherry MX blue switches are definitely what I hear. And then if you actually hear it, I think you'll be able to hear it now. Yeah, those little clickies, all those clicky noises, that's all from a mechanical keyboard. And I have I have the O dampeners on there too, so it's even louder without it. But yeah, definitely something really fun to use. I love it. Mouse pad. I have the SteelSeries Quick Mouse gaming mouse pad here. Pretty much nothing you can say about this. It's just cheap, runs really nice for all my games. Definitely for Counter-Strike when I need those quick little accurate shots and quick shots as well, or the flick shots they call it. Definitely nothing really much to say here, but definitely a good one. My mouse I am using in the SteelSeries Ikari high performance gaming laser mouse. You cannot find these anymore, unfortunately. I have no idea where you can find it. I just use this as an example. But when I bought this mouse, I actually bought it through Newegg, and it was actually on sale as a refurbish. So I only got mine for like 15 bucks or something. So this thing is driverless. You don't have to use any drivers with it, and then it has some built-in profiles that you could pick in for let's say your DPI sensitivity. Or actually, no, CPI. They use CPI in this particular mouse. But the CPI in this mouse definitely is a bit easier to use. I use around 800 sensitivity in Counter-Strike as an example, but that's pretty much it for that one. Headphones. You don't see me using it now because I'm actually using some earbuds, if you haven't noticed. These earbuds are just like, SteelSeries Flux earbuds. They're just for me using on the go kind of thing. But for here, I use... For my live streams, definitely, and some other daily time use. Monoprice 8323 headphones. My God, for its price tag, when I bought it for 20 bucks, dude, it was just worth the steal. Detachable cable. The bottom here, where you see kind of like where my hand cursor is kind of a little small here, but that bottom part over there can have any 3mm jacks, and then you can also adapt it to any of your bigger sound systems kind of stuff, your big stereos and such like that. Definitely a good set of cans to use, definitely. And then finally, my very last item, Samsung what you're listening to right now, the Samsung Meteor mic USB studio microphone. I actually got this version too. It's temporarily out of stock, or at least that one is. Yeah, I bought it for that same price, around $69 right there, but for its price tag, definitely better than the Snowball, or at least in my opinion it is, but my only gripe with it is it does pick up a lot of noise outside, and throughout this course of this video, because I'm actually recording this in my dorm, you actually heard a couple noises through it. I may or may not drop that out of this video, but I don't know. I haven't decided that on yet. And that is pretty much it. That's actually my entire system build right there. So I will put, like I said before, I'll put this link inside the description below so you can actually see what my system is. If you are building your own system and you would love to do something like I say a cheap wise, I can help you out, or you can go with a PC part picker, which helped me out pick out all my items that you needed to use, and Amazon as well. But that's just your thing though. Anyways, last thing I wanted to say is though, if you want to use this system, go ahead, but I would advise you try to probably make some different changes. Like for example, the RAM, you can probably drop that down to 1600 megahertz speeds unless you're actually doing some editing videos, because the speed of the RAM does not make any sense in gaming, especially for a gaming rig. Productivity wise, you probably want an Intel build, but for its cheap price, what I had for the AMD at least, definitely was what I had here. Any other changes? Not really, to be honest. The fans you don't really need. You can use cheaper fans if you really want to, but you don't have to. I just love these kinds of fans because they color match my build. So, and also the fan controller, probably don't need that, but it's up to you. Especially especially in your motherboard, especially on mine, the fan header ports. There's at least maybe like 3 of them on my motherboard, and they're like in 3 different places. So it's kind of hard to put all the intake fans on the actual motherboard. So that's why I bought the fan controller in the first place. And that's it, you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.